You're eating salads, you're having Greek yogurt for breakfast, you're choosing whole grains because they're healthy, and your gut feels worse. Here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. Some of the so-called healthiest foods on the planet are absolute gut destroyers for people with IBS. And the worst part, your doctor probably recommended them. Let me show you the 5 healthy foods that are secretly making your symptoms worse and what to eat instead. I'm Marina Bedrosian, functional dietitian and IBS specialist for 14 years. I've seen this pattern over and over. Someone comes to me eating a perfect diet, all the food wellness influencers tell you to eat, and they feel terrible. Because here's what nobody understands. When your gut is damaged, inflamed, and struggling, healthy doesn't mean the same thing anymore. Let's break down the 5 biggest offenders. Number 1 is yogurt. I know yogurt has probiotics, it's supposed to be good for your gut, but here's the problem. Dairy is a common IBS trigger for most people with IBS. Even if you're not lactose intolerant, a damaged gut lining struggles to process dairy proteins like casein and whey. These cause inflammation and bloating. The probiotics in yogurt are not enough to help your IBS heal or to make a big difference. Most yogurts are full of sugar. Flavored yogurt can have 20 or more grams of sugar, and that can be a problem because it can feed bacteria in your gut that you don't want to feed. What to do instead? If you tolerate dairy, and you know you do, and you love yogurt, then stick to plain, full-fat, grass-fed varieties. But honestly, most people with IBS do better avoiding dairy completely during the healing phase. Food number 2, raw salads. This one surprises people the most because salads are so healthy. There's fiber and vegetables. But here's why raw salads wreck your gut. First, they're incredibly hard to digest. Raw vegetables require massive amounts of digestive enzymes and stomach acid to break down. If your digestion is already compromised, your body can't handle it. The fiber is also aggressive. Raw leafy greens contain fiber that scrapes along your already inflamed gut lining. It's like rubbing sandpaper on a wound. Third is they often cause rapid transit. That means diarrhea, urgency, cramping, and undigested food in your stool. Your gut is basically saying, I can't process this, get it out now. Store-bought salad dressings are often triggers as well. The types of oils used in those are not high quality. If you're making them your own, that could be fine. However, some people have a hard time digesting high amounts of fat or high amounts of acid found in salad dressings. So what to do instead? Cook your vegetables. Steamed, roasted, sauteed, they're all easier to digest. Start with well-cooked, soft vegetables like zucchini, carrots, and squash. Your gut's gonna thank you. Once you've healed, you can add back in some raw vegetables, but while you're still struggling, skip the salads. Number 3, whole grains. But whole grains are better than white bread. They have fiber, they're healthy, but not for your damaged gut. For some people, the phytic acid and lectins and other anti-nutrients can cause more inflammation in your gut. Gluten is also a major gut destroyer. Even if you're not celiac, gluten damages tight junctions in your intestinal lining. This causes leaky gut. And most whole grains contain gluten: wheat, rye, barley. Third, the fiber is too much for a struggling gut. That healthy fiber we mentioned with the salads, it can cause more irritation, and it can even feed the bacteria in your gut that you don't want to be feeding. It takes a little more fire in your gut to digest these whole grains. You're probably going to find it's a lot easier to digest refined grains. Now, of course, I don't recommend eating refined grains long term. However, in the healing process, this is going to make you feel better. White rice, sometimes sweet potatoes without the skin. Plantains could be another good choice. White potatoes and squashes have great carbohydrate content without being a total gut destroyer. They'll provide energy without the inflammatory compounds and difficult to digest fiber. Once healed, you're going to notice you can incorporate a lot more of these foods without a problem at all. The next healthy food IBSers should avoid is protein bars. They're marketed as the perfect healthy snack, convenient, packed with protein, clean ingredients. The wellness industry acts like they're a superfood. Here's the reality. They're loaded with sugar alcohols most of the time, and those are going to cause massive bloating and gas and even diarrhea. First off, they're usually loaded with sugar alcohols. Erythritol, xylitol, malitol, these can cause massive gas, bloating, diarrhea, and cramping. So if they're really low sugar bars, check out the label to make sure you don't have sugar alcohols in there. They're also usually filled with fiber additives. Chicory root fiber, inulin, soluble corn fiber, all of these are added to boost the fiber count on the label so that they look even healthier. But these are prebiotics that will feed the bad bacteria in your gut. If you have IBS, chances are you don't have enough of the good bacteria and you have an overgrowth of the bad bacteria. Whether that's in the small or large intestine, the prebiotics are something you're probably going to want to avoid in the initial stages of healing. Next, the protein sources can be problematic. Whey and casein are dairy products, and those can cause inflammation. Soy protein isolate is highly processed. Pea protein can cause bloating. These aren't real whole food proteins that your body recognizes readily. They're also filled with gums and emulsifiers. Xanthan gum, guar gum, carrageenan, they keep the bar together, but they irritate your gut lining and disrupt your microbiome. Studies link them to increased intestinal permeability or leaky gut. Your damaged gut can handle all of these different chemicals, preservatives, flavors, and texturizers. Another mistake people make when it comes to protein bars is they don't chew it enough. Most people eat protein bars in 5 bites while rushing around. Digestion requires thorough chewing and mindful eating. Scarfing down a dense bar is going to cause digestive disaster. What to do instead? Eat real food, a hard-boiled egg, leftover chicken, a small piece of fish. If you need true convenience, make your own snacks with simple ingredients that you can pronounce. However, it really is best to stick to 2 to 3 meals per day when you have IBS and try to avoid snacking altogether. This is going to help the motility or the movement of food through your digestive system. If you absolutely must have a bar, choose one with under 5 ingredients, no sugar alcohols, no added fibers, and eat it slowly, preferably while sitting down. Food number 5, nuts and nut butters. But they're such a great source of protein and they're so easy. Well, not when your gut's broken. Nuts are incredibly hard to digest. They are dense, fibrous, and require a lot of enzymes to break down. Most IBSers don't have the digestive power to break them down. Nuts are really dense in fiber, just like whole grains and the salads. These are going to be really irritating. Now, nut butter might be a little bit easier to digest, especially a smooth nut butter, but do recognize that it's still very dense and high in fat. High fat foods like nut butters can definitely cause a strain on your digestive system. Once your body has healed, you can mostly eat all these foods without a single problem. However, in the process of healing, these are going to be things that you're going to want to stay away from to just help you feel better. Do you notice the pattern here? All 5 of these foods are considered healthy in the wellness world. Nutritionists recommend them, influencers put them in every meal, your doctor probably told you to eat them. But here's what they all have in common. They require strong digestion to process. And when you have IBS, your digestion is not strong. It's compromised, damaged, and struggling. Think of it like this. If you broke your leg, you wouldn't immediately run a marathon. You'd rest, heal, and slowly rebuild strength. Your gut's the same. These healthy foods are marathons for your digestive system. But you're asking your body to run them with a broken leg. Here's what happens. Your stomach doesn't have enough acid to break down the proteins. Your pancreas can't produce enough enzymes. Your gut lining is damaged and inflamed. Your motility is slow or erratic. You have bacterial overgrowth, which could be in your small intestines or your large intestines, which could be causing you to have excessive gas. And then you eat raw kale salad with almonds, quinoa, and maybe even a fruit smoothie for dessert. Your gut doesn't stand a chance. This doesn't mean these foods are bad forever. It means they're wrong for where you are right now. Once you've healed your foundation, fixed your cells, and cleared out the toxins, reset your nervous system, many of these foods might work fine for you long term. But while you're struggling, you need foods that support healing, not foods that require perfect digestion. So what to do instead? This is what you should do. Healing foods that nobody talks about. Well-cooked vegetables, steamed carrots, zucchini, squash, roasted root vegetables like sweet potatoes or beets. Cooked, peeled, and seeded vegetables are easier to digest. You could do bone broth. I don't recommend carnivore, mostly because I've seen it cause more problems than solutions in people with IBS. When you have IBS, you don't have to have a crazy strict elimination diet. Believe it or not, most people who I'm working with are able to eat the way they typically do every day while they are healing, and they feel great quickly. Simple proteins are what we want to look for. Wild-caught fish, lean beef, lean chicken, and if you find that you can handle it, you can go for a cut of meat that has a little more fat to it. Just test it out first in a small quantity. Easy carbohydrates like white rice, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, well-cooked squash are the way to go. Believe it or not, quinoa can cause people major gut distress. A lot of people will find that warm cooked meals are easier to digest than ice-cold smoothies. So soups, and even if you have a smoothie and you bring it to room temperature, that's going to be easier for your body to handle than something that's really ice-cold. Basically, warm, cooked, simple, soft foods, few ingredients, because your gut needs gentle, nourishing, easy to digest foods while it heals. Once you've rebuilt your foundation, you can experiment with adding more complex foods back in, but start it simple. And good question, how do you know if you are healed? Well, you're not going to have symptoms like you do now. We need to be gentle and easy, and that's the power of eating for where you are, not where you wish you were. If you're eating healthy and still feel terrible, this is your wake-up call. Your body isn't broken. You're just asking it to do things it's not ready for yet. If you want to know exactly what to do to help your IBS go away for good, watch my video, IBS Treatment Secrets Your Doctor Isn't Telling You. The link is in the description below. I'll see you next time.